to all my beautiful mothers out there. Woohoo! Celebrate good times. Come on. So happy Mother's Day. If you guys haven't already, don't forget to call your moms. And also, I do want everybody to keep in mind the people who no longer have mothers, because on Father's Day I've lost my dad, and it's really hard for me on Father's Day. So, there's people out there, and like Mother's Day is just like an extra reminder of their loved one that they've lost, have their mother around anymore. It's 10 times more important to make sure you call them and talk to them and, let them know you're thinking about them, because it's very important. Okay, so besides that, I did a poll yesterday and asked you guys, besides Love After Lockup, which show you guys want to see me cover, and I put Seeking Sister Wife, 9-Day Fiance, Single Life, 9-Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, Mama June, and I had the most for Seeking Sister Wife. I had the second most for 9-Day Fiance, The Single Life, and then the third was Mama June. So I am going to try to cover all those videos more, and I really wanted to talk about Danielle on The Single Life. First off, today was the last episode, like actual episode, and next week they're going to have the tell-all, and then this season of 9-Day Fiancé, The Single Life, is already done. It seems like this season has gone by so fast, and I really hope that they replace like another season right afterwards, because that's the only reason I bought Discovery Plus. The only things I watch on there is The Single Life and Seeking Sister Wife, and I might have to cancel my Discovery Plus subscription if they end the season. They're not going to have another season on for a while. Okay, so I want to talk about Danielle. So Danielle, she went on a date with this nice, handsome guy named Robert, and they went axe throwing axes. They had a good time. Danielle wasn't very good at first, but then Robert gave her a few pointers, and she was getting better. It was cute. And so they go to sit down, and they have drinks at this table. And all of a sudden, Danielle gets emotional and starts crying, and she walks off, and she's like, I can't tell him. And the producer's like, we know. And then Danielle comes back, and she's talking to Robert, and she spills the beans on her relationship with Mohammed. She says, I'm having trouble. I'm very insecure because my ex-husband told me that no guy would ever want me because I smell down there. Okay, there's a couple thoughts I have on this. Either the producers pushed her to say that, and that's why she's crying and walked off and said, I can't do this. Maybe the producers put in her head that she needed to tell Robert that. Or two, she's like still really in love with Mohammed and can't get Mohammed off her mind. Or three, maybe she's just putting it all out there so he can decide if he wants to continue. I don't think it should have been said so soon, because they really haven't got to know each other much at all, and I don't think that's a good way to really start. But at the same time, I can understand her wanting to put everything out there, because I'm kind of like that. And I don't enjoy that about myself, but I kind of like when I get in relationships, I kind of put it all out there. Not at the very first or second date, but maybe like after like a month or something. I'll put it all out there so we can decide if we want to continue or not, because if someone can't look past whatever I have to tell them, then, we're just wasting time. So I can understand maybe she doesn't want to waste time and she just wants to put it all out there and see if he wants to continue. But it was so sweet because she said that and she was crying, and he said, I understand. My ex-wife used to do the same to me. She used to say I wasn't good enough and that I was too big. And it was a really sweet moment. He was such a sweetheart to Danielle and really helped comfort Danielle and make Danielle feel like, hey, it's happened to me too. I understand your pain and what you're coming from. And it was really sweet moment. So he didn't seem shocked at all by it. And it's like, maybe he hasn't, and maybe she wanted to put it out there because she doesn't want to date him, and then he had to find out another way because he watches the 9-Day Fiancé tell-all when Mohammed tells her that. So I can understand also how she would want it to come out of her mouth to him before he found it out another way and scare him off. But I do think she should have been like, hey, he said this, but then he retracted it when I called him out on it and asked him to apologize, because he did retract his statement and just said he was really hurt and did admit that he didn't feel that way. You know, he was just upset at the time. And so I think that would be important for him to know. But Robert just looked beyond that, and he was so sweet, and he kissed Danielle and they left. He gave her a ride home and they kissed again, and Danielle was all giddy and she was on cloud nine. And it was so adorable. And I really, really, really hope that Danielle has found her husband, because they're just so cute together. They seem like they got a lot in common. And even in the pillow talk I watched, Mohammed watched him and was reacting to it. And he said, I think this is the best guy that Danielle's dated so far. So for Mohammed to say that, you know, that means for Mohammed to say that, you know, that's telling too. And then also, so next week is the season finale. Ooh, we got some more bubbles for it. Let's celebrate the season finale. The tell-all, baby. So next, I didn't know they did tell-alls for the single life. So next week is the tell-all for 90 Day Fiancé, and it looks like it's gonna be juicy. So the spoiler was, it was crazy because they have everybody there who's still together, like all the couples. They had Vanessa and Colt there, they had Danielle there, and they had Robert, the guy that she was dating, like video call. He was up on the screen. And they had Ed there by himself, and then Liz came in at the last minute, and then they showed spoilers of Liz crying, saying, I've been through so much hell this past month, and it looks like they're broken up at the time of the tell-all. And Ed was just like all blushing, and he didn't have nothing to say. And then Molly looked at Ed and said, WTF, Ed. And even Colt was like, oh my God, Ed, like, what is wrong with you? So it looks like some stuff came to light that Ed was doing to Liz, and it did not look good at all. Liz was bawling. Ed looked like he was about to cry. Ed was upset that Liz even came. It really threw him off guard. He was not expecting that whatsoever. And then Brittany, the whole time they're like, oh, Brittany hasn't showed up. And they had to keep delaying starting the tell-all because Brittany was late. And I don't know if she ever showed up, because then all the spoilers, it doesn't show her. So I don't know if she just decided not to come at all. But Terrence was there too at the tell-all. So maybe her and Terrence didn't work out, and that's why she decided not to show up. Or maybe she was just running late. You know, they were hyping it up for nothing. But there's also the juiciest part of the spoiler for the tell-all. These are the two juiciest parts, I think. So Big Ed, you know, they're kind of getting on Colt Vanessa, how Colt lives with his mom, and, you know, asking Debbie, you know, are you ever going to let Colt get out on his own, be independent and everything? And then Big Ed said... So Big Ed told Debbie that she needs to stop babying Colt and let him be independent. And then Big Ed said, I think Colt needs to give out the nipple. And then Debbie said, F you, because she does go on Instagram as Savage Debbie. So Miss Savage Debbie said, F you, Ed, you need to get off your mother's nipple. Burn, she told him. Because Ed lives with his mother too, so he has no room to talk when it comes to Colt and his situation, because he's in the exact same situation as Colt is. And then last but not least, Molly was there with her boyfriend that she's been seeing, and Kelly, and they're there together sitting next to each other, and they flew Luis all the way from whatever country he lives in. I can't remember what country he's from, but they flew him all the way there to say his side of the story. He was mad. He was like watching what Molly was saying about him in the tell, and he like, this whole time she's been calling me a demon, and she's the demon. And then he came out on stage, and everyone was like, what the F, especially Molly and Kelly, and then it cut off. And that's next week. So I cannot wait to see that next week. Looks like it's going to be pretty juicy. I'm pretty excited. But that's it for this video, guys. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And turn on the bell notification so you don't miss the tea while it's still hot. Bye, guys.